How can I heal from falling in love with emotionally unavailable men? That is our topic for today. I'm Shauna White, relationship coach for spiritually awake couples. I help couples unlock heartfelt intimacy that flows naturally. That is my specialty. And today we are talking about a very important issue that comes up in relationship or in the pursuit of a partner, which is the ways that subconscious patterns that we have put us on a track to unfulfilling, recurring situations. So, and this topic is an answer to a question. So I am going to read the question here. I seem to fall in love with emotionally unavailable men. This has not been all my life, but recent, after my daughter's dad passed away. And as I'm trying to find that divine love that I have in my heart, reciprocated by a divine masculine. The men that desire me, I do not find attractive. And the one man I desired was not ready for a relationship, so he was emotionally unavailable. How can I heal those childhood wounds of an emotionally unavailable father so I can get the relationship I deserve? So the primary technique is that you've got to catch the subconscious in the act. And to actually feel your inner connection with divine love at the same time as you feel what your subconscious believes, and allow the discernment of your inner experience of divine love to re-educate the subconscious. That is easier said than done. I want to open up my thoughts about the specific situation and question here. So I want to start with this. So the question at the end is, how can I heal those childhood wounds of an emotionally unavailable father so I can get the relationship I deserve? I am actually experiencing that question articulated that way as mismatched with the earlier information. The earlier information says, I seem to fall in love with emotionally unavailable men. This has not been all my life, but recent after my daughter's dad passed away. So the first thought that I have is the access point for what your subconscious believes, and it's emotional learning, right? So when we access what the subconscious believes, we're getting in touch with the message of deeply felt emotions that don't want to expose themselves. But if we pay attention to what we're feeling as we have different relationship experiences, for instance, feeling the attraction to the man who was not ready for a relationship, feeling unattracted to other men that do desire you, in the shadows, deep underneath, you may be able to find a bead of emotion or a subconscious conviction, like in the feeling of pushing away the unattractive men or man. Is there a feeling that has a message for you? In the feeling with the man that you desired who wasn't ready, what are all the feelings that you can detect? They're like subtle energies in the shadows. And what message do those feelings have for you? The childhood wounds of an emotionally unavailable father. Perhaps there was an emotionally unavailable father. However, this situation didn't actually come up until after your daughter's dad passed away. So I myself, I wonder also, is there a feeling inside the when you think about the passing of your husband, your daughter's dad, um, what are the feelings that you have deep in the shadows around that? Because that might actually be where something is unresolved and blocked in the subconscious. Um, and I have myself sometimes um, taken like intellectual interpretations of how I think patterns, subconscious patterns should develop, and tried to understand myself through those lenses. Like, for instance, you could pick up a Louise Hay book, where so I haven't read Louise Hay in a really long time, so I don't know what she's doing now. But from many, many years ago, her small little blue book said that anger uh, and cancer went together. So if you had cancer, then what are you angry at? It's like five and dime psychology. So I don't know if there was something to. Uh, I don't know if there was some. I see someone liking my video. Thank you. Um, I don't know if there was an experience of emotional unavailability with your father, which would certainly be something to explore. And was there emotional unavailability with your daughter's dad? So is it something in the grief of losing that marriage relationship, or or is it actually looking for replicating what you experienced in your childhood? Now, I'm just going to interject one thing here. I lost my mom just before I turned 4, and then she stayed with me in spirit for a year, and then she told me she had to leave, and she wouldn't be back. Now, I internalized that as that I don't matter, and that affected my love relationships. I have looked for men who believe or regarded me with an aloof or ambivalent attitude, because my subconscious wanted to set up the story to pick up where I left off with my mom and give the story a different ending. And my subconscious was really convinced that that was going to work, and that was going to be the way to save my self-worth. And it wasn't until I was able to really connect. Okay, so intellectually, I was able to say, well, that doesn't make any sense. But that doesn't matter what you can put together intellectually. I had to go into Hades, so to speak. I had to go into the underworld of my subconscious and connect with the emotion that believed deeply in this beautiful idea of love that was structured by overlooking myself and giving myself into the relationship, because then he would give himself into the relationship and we would be so deeply intertwined and it would be amazingly intimate, so I thought. And then, but in this moment where I went deep into Hades inside myself, the underworld, and at the same time kept my connection with divine love together, so that the light of love that gives me deep discernment could shine on the convictions of the underworld inside me, that's when I was able to see emotionally from the subconscious, see, I overlooked myself in the beginning, and that's why I feel overlooked. So even if I got the relationship that I want, I would still feel angry and overlooked. And so my subconscious was like, oh, it doesn't work. This idea that I've been championing for all of these years doesn't actually work. Okay, boom, gone. My subconscious abandoned it. So the idea that it takes a long time to change a pattern, I think is not exactly accurate. It's just that it takes something that we don't know what it is necessarily, as we're feeling around in the dark, to actually get to that place where we are in direct conversation with our subconscious from the perspective of divine discernment to show our subconscious what the truth is. That's really how a pattern like this gets healed. And I just wanted to put it out there that I think it could certainly be true for some people that the pattern that they have with their father affects how they show up in their relationship. A woman's experience with her father may affect how she shows up. However, it's not necessarily that way. It could be your relationship with your mother. Because I still have a relationship with my dad. He is 94. Um, and so he's still around, and we're age 4 is like an energy bubble of love that you're held within. And that energy bubble got broken. And intimacy is another realm of life because I was trying to pick up where I left off with my mom so I could rewrite the end of the story. So the other thing I want to add to this is that this kind of journeying into the underworld of our being um, is best done in the form of like reading energy and like witnessing emotions rather than identifying with them. But we have to be connected enough to them to really feel them and feel them completely so that we can receive the message that they have for us. But if we identify with them, we can't receive the message because we're too busy the way the emotion is occurring to us. So those are my thoughts on this. Um, it's really deep work that's needed, and it's something that I help people with in the sense that, I mean, when I work with clients on something like this, I bring my own energetic sensitivity to the exploration so that I can help somebody navigate not just the energetic sensitivity, but also like years of studying applied spiritual psychology. But, and what is applied spiritual psychology? That is basically the practical understanding of how the mind works from the perspective that we are designed to be in partnership with divine love, and that when that partnership is broken, what happens in the mind that then leads us down a path of lack and disconnection, and then also ends up leading to cause and effect dynamics in our relationships with people. So that's what I mean by applied spiritual psychology. But what's so important that we need is discernment in the moment that comes from feeling energy from a perspective of resting in the alignment with divine love. And it takes a long time to develop deep discernment because it takes those filters will stand in the way of discernment. So when I work with people on something like this, I bring my discernment to their feeling the energy with them and helping to bring words to it so that upon it so that someone can see from their subconscious can see things differently as well as from the conscious, and then allow change to happen naturally because the convictions underneath the surface are changing and getting sorted out and clarified. Alrighty, I would love to hear how this landed with you, and if there's any additional questions that precipitated, I would love to address those in a subsequent video. So please let me know how this can pray